Torture methods. Heretic's fork. A collar with two sets of metal forks at each end. One set was placed under the chin and the other at the sternum, forcing the victim to keep their head raised, leading to severe discomfort and sleep deprivation until they could no longer hold their head up. Scold's bridle. A metal framework worn on the head with a gag to silence the wearer. The part inside the mouth had spikes that lacerated the tongue if it moved. It was used to punish women considered nagging or gossiping, humiliating them publicly and restricting their speech. Blood eagle. A brutal ritual where the victim's ribs were cut from the spine and spread out to resemble wings while the lungs were pulled through the openings, causing a slow, agonizing death. Scaphism. A cruel death method involving trapping someone in a boat, covering them in honey and milk to attract insects while also feeding them the same mixture. The insects would bite the victim continuously until they died. This process was repeated every morning, lasting up to 17 days. Branding iron. A hot metal stamp was pressed onto someone's skin to leave a painful, permanent scar, serving as a lifelong reminder of their punishment. Brazen bull. A metal statue shaped like a bull where someone was locked inside and heated with fire. The victim would be burned alive, their screams mimicking a bull's bellowing, with the steam exiting the bull's nose for added realism. Breaking wheel. A method that broke someone's bones and twisted their body around a large wheel, leaving them exposed to the elements and birds, resulting in a slow, painful death. Breast ripper. Heated and used to tear the skin of the breasts, particularly for women, leaving severe lifelong scars and pain. Kang. A large, heavy wooden board locked around someone's neck, making movement or eating difficult, used to publicly shame and physically pain the person. Castor oil. Forcing someone to drink large amounts of castor oil caused severe stomach pain and uncontrollable diarrhea. The victim was placed in a large barrel and left until they confessed, sometimes drowning in their own fluids. Choke pear. A metal tool inserted into someone's mouth or anus, then expanded to stretch the tissue beyond repair. Head crush. A device that slowly tightened around the head, causing severe pain and eventually crushing the skull, used to extract confessions or as brutal punishment. Iron chair. A chair with sharp spikes on the seat and armrests where the person was forced to sit for hours, sometimes days. Keel hauling. A maritime punishment where a sailor was tied to a rope and dragged underwater from one side of the ship to the other, often repeated until the person drowned or died from injuries. Lingqi. Also known as death by 1,000 cuts, this Chinese execution method involved systematically cutting off pieces of the victim's flesh until they died, intended to cause maximum pain and suffering. Pendulum. A sharp blade suspended above the victim, slowly lowering with each swing, cutting deeper with each movement. Rack. The victim was stretched on a rectangular wooden rack, pulling the arms and legs in opposite directions, causing intense pain and often dislocated limbs and torn ligaments. Scavenger's daughter. A compression device that forced the victim into a crouched position, causing immense pain by compressing the body. Pau de Arara. A torture method where a person was suspended from a rod by their wrists and ankles, similar to being on a parrot's perch, causing long-term joint problems. Tongue terror. A tool used to grip and tear the tongue, causing extreme pain and preventing speech, ironically often used to extract confessions. Strappado. Involved binding the victim's hands behind their back and hoisting them up by a rope tied to their wrists, leading to dislocated shoulders, sometimes with added weights for increased pain. White room torture. The victim was placed in a completely white, soundproof room with no windows or distinguishing features, used as long-term psychological torture, often leading to madness. Oubliette. A deep pit designed to hold prisoners, often forgotten and left to die in the dark without food or water. Gibbeting. A method of public execution and post-mortem punishment where the body, sometimes still alive, was placed in a metal cage and hung on display to serve as a warning to others. Spanish tickler. A metal claw designed to rip and tear flesh from the body, initially tickling but eventually mutilating the skin. Bamboo torture. Bamboo was inserted into a person's anus and left to grow rapidly, causing immense pain, sometimes until it exited from the other side. Flaying alive. The skin was removed from the body, often while the victim was still alive, causing intense, slow pain and eventually leading to death through shock or infection. Judas chair. A torture device with a pyramid-shaped seat where the victim was slowly lowered onto the sharp apex, gradually tearing the body apart. Iron Maiden. A tall, coffin-like chamber with spikes on the inside that pierced the person placed inside once it was closed. Spanish donkey. A sharp-angled wooden device the victim was forced to sit on with weights attached to their feet, increasing pressure and pain until the body was torn apart by its own weight. Crocodile shears. A torture instrument designed to cut off the victim's limbs with a heated, serrated edge resembling a crocodile's jaws, often used to punish thieves. Chinese water torture. Water droplets repeatedly dropped onto a person's forehead for an extended period, causing psychological distress and leading to extreme anxiety and madness. Thumbscrew. A device that applied painful pressure to the thumbs or fingers by tightening screws, crushing the digits, often used to extract confessions or punish criminals. Whirligig. A device that spun the victim at high speeds, causing disorientation, nausea, and potential physical harm due to the centrifugal force. Thanks for watching my videos. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more content like this. See you next time.